What would you say are the main differences between the Bay Area and Singapore?
Like now looking back in like life in Bear, I feel like I could really be in a little circle, not circle, like a bubble. Because everything seems to very much be US centric or like even Valley centric. Living here, it gives me more perspective of the world.
Welcome, Jody. Can you just give us a quick intro about yourself?
Yeah, hey everyone. I'm Jody. I am Taiwanese by default. Went to school in UC San Diego. And after I graduated, I worked in the Bay Area for a few years before I moved to Singapore. I'm currently working in Airbnb Singapore, which is also the APAC headquarter outside of the US. But in like free time, I just love like hanging with friends, working out, making the most out of Singapore by traveling to nearby cities.
How did you adapt to life in Singapore?
The first few months were definitely tough because I basically have to build my entire social group from scratch. And I got a lot of FOMO. I think especially when it was like, for example, Coachella season or like music festival season, and all my friends are out there doing what we used to do. It was a lot harder for me because it's not like I can easily book a plane ticket out because 18 hours flight is not the same as 3 hours flight to Bali. So I think I just have to like constantly find new things that I could do out here. And I would say there's also a good thing with like having a lot of expats in Singapore because people are really open. Sometimes I was linked by a mutual friends to this other friends like party, and that's when you really get to like meet new people and talk to each other, find out what's in common. In the beginning, it does help when you work for a tech company like Airbnb because people there you already have similar mission in life, and it was easy to make friends at work. But at some point, I decided that it was also good for me to focus on having friends outside of work because it could get too comfortable. I just feel like it's good to have that boundary sometimes.
What would you say are the pros and cons of living in Singapore?
I would say the pros is definitely, it has to do with travels. So Singapore is an absolute travel hub for Southeast Asia travels. And with that, we're talking about unlimited trips, weekend trips, like just simple weekend getaways to Bali, Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh cities, as these places are literally less than 3 hours plane right away. So for me, it's been a lot of discovering new places. But living in Singapore alone, it is a very, very safe city. You can go out at night without worrying for your own safety, and which I often take it for granted because it doesn't translate to other parts of Southeast Asia. So when I visit a new place, I often have to like put on a safety goggle and remind myself that I gotta watch out where I go. Um, but even though it's a very safe and convenient city to live, I think Singapore alone, probably because of the size of it, it's limited by the nature, the type of nature that it has to offer. I always try to go look for different places to hike. This is something that I really miss from living in the Bay. And the hiking trails here are also not as pet friendly. So oftentimes my friend and we would go and to only find out that her pet is not allowed in the nature reserve. So then we have to like sort of find another place to go. Um, and also like I think it depends on your group of friends. For me, a lot of my friends are expats. So the people usually have a sort of timeline as to how long they want to spend here. And in my past 3 years, I've seen friends come and go. They move to the new country, Australia, UK. So a lot of farewells, but also means that you just have to constantly build and make new friends.
Asia is known for long hours. What are your hours like?
I would say because I'm pretty blessed to be working in an American company, so work-life balance is all that we stress about. I I actually vividly remember my first month working in Airbnb. My manager at the time would sit next to me at 6 p.m. when I was still working, and he would be like, "If you did not go, I will not leave. I want to make sure that by the time I leave, you are also, shutting your laptop down and, just enjoy the night from there." I always thought that living in Asia means like, working longer hours, and making all sort of like personal sacrifices, but it hasn't been the case. But I think I was definitely one of the fortunate one. I do have friends who work in banking, so it means like a 10 to 10 for them, consulting live, until midnight. But for me, I do have a really good, I started my day typically around 9. I start to be online, catching up on emails, responding to messages. And by like 5, it's when people are slowly getting offline. And then 6 to 7, if I were to be in the office now, it would be complete ghost town. Like everyone would be out the door, not working. Yeah.
What things do you normally do on the weekends?
Wow, I haven't really have a normal weekend. Now that I'm thinking of. So, in an ideal month, I like to look at it as like 4 weekend. One weekend I like to just have it to myself. Tend to not have any plans. I probably catch up on a show that I really want to watch. Another weekend will be socializing as much as I can. Try to ask friends out to see if they wanted to go for a brunch. Do they wanted to go for a hike? Or we have board games, so this is just like wholesome activities with friends. Another weekend would be like party weekend, where we know Saturday night we are going out, and Sunday will be a hungover Sunday, so just try to recover from that. And the last, like the fourth weekend of the month, will just be a travel weekend. So that's where I wanted to like sort of make a 3-day weekend. Maybe Friday I will remote work from somewhere, and take a Thursday midnight flight, red eye flight out to like let's say Bali, and then have a good weekend outside of Singapore. So I think this is like in an ideal world, a perfect month that I would want us to spend in Singapore.
What's the fashion trend in Singapore, since you guys don't have winter and fall?
Definitely, tank tops, t-shirts, or like jean shorts on a weekend. But like in the office, I think I usually go with dresses because it's always easiest, and you can never go wrong with a good a length skirt, and like a plain top. So that's all what I usually go for. And I see I work for like men's fashion. A lot of people go with like jeans with a black t-shirt, or sometime on a Friday people come in shorts. Also, like I would say Singapore is a like a lot of people care about fitness here, and especially people at work that I've seen. Sometimes you will see after lunch people change into their workout gear, so they can go straight to their studios after for exercises.
Well, thank you so much, Jody, for sharing about your experiences in Singapore.
Cool, thank you.